That did not work at all. I mean, I know it worked, but... This is weird. It doesn't want to connect to the right thing. I mean, I'm sure it's live, but I'm also sure that it's not behaving right now. And that's weird. Because we're live there, but that is not the thing we're live with, is it? Right, now about working again. Now let's see if we can get everything else working. Because I'm not sure everything else is working. You go and change one setting and then everything just explodes. I was not very sure why this decided to just do this. I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't understand with this. A lot. But hey, it's something at least. Okay. So, I think this is working now. Stick around over and see if we can have some interaction. Okay, so I think things are working. I would say this in the best and most polite way possible. I think things are working again. I don't know, but I think maybe things are working. That is how it is. Right. Well, it's supposed to be live for about 4 minutes now while I do things, so yeah. Let's get back to painting the mech. At least let's get the base layers done. The good thing is it's dried now, so that's something. But beyond that, I'm not entirely sure. And I have no idea where I was. But yeah, look at that. Base coating. It's a thing. I'm going to cheat a bit. And I point out that my contrast paint at this point is more a contrast gel. I'm not sure it works anymore. Does it work? I don't know. It's a nice goopy gel if nothing else. Which is kind of fascinating in its own right. But perhaps not necessarily what you want in this case. But yeah, you can get this into sort of a paint-like state. And trust me, you see, you do not want to accidentally dip contrast paint in your mouth, because that is a taste you will not forget. Ever. It's unpleasant. Very unpleasant. Right, so why am I using this? Well, you're going to see what happens if I put this on this. Yeah, it did what I hoped it's going to do. Now you might wonder, why am I doing all these steps? Well, because we're taking our time with this one. It's a big mech, it's not a small mech. It's visual. I'm not all that fussed with some minor things on things that are tabletop scale. Because for most time you'll be seeing those from the ass end of the table anyway. So that won't matter much. But look at that. It actually looks like something now. It also looks a little more close to what I wanted from the beginning, but I couldn't find the right tone. So yeah. This is a lot better. We're going to put this color on everything. I like contrast paints. Now, we're not exactly using this as a contrast paint right now, are we? When we're using it like a wash. A highly pigmented wash. But that works too. Mostly because I say this one is so dried out in reality that there's no way to getting it back to the proper consistency. It's dead for the most part. Most part looking at it, it's dead. It doesn't matter if you get to paint on the barrels, because those can be repainted anyway. But I mean, looking at it from a proper side of things, oh dear, I know. Now I added too much water instead. So now it's literally a wash. Oh well, I'll roll with it. I'm a big fan of big feet anyway. You know, it is what it is. I just put my finger. See, this is why I can't hold models. Because I put fingers all over the paint. Unfortunately, the grey is going to be repainted. But yeah, that's life for you. So what should we actually call this? The Battletech miniature mechbay. I kind of like that. It just came to me, but it makes sense because this is where we set up the mechs. So, because we're going to do weird things in this stream. This is only the beginning. You have not even seen my final form yet. Actually, you have. This is pretty much my final form. But you know, see? Would you look at that? It is a mech. There's happiness in this. The mech version of Marie Kondo. Marie Kondo. Marie Kondo. Does this bring you happiness? It's like, yes, it does. Then thou shalt keep it. This brush is a bit more messed up. It's the two, is it not the one brush? Yes. This is the brush we're looking for, really. Nothing to dry again. Oh! We got pooling. We do not like pooling. See if we can get this actually buff out. I mostly avoided pooling, but there I kinda got carried away apparently. There was a bit of pooling there. What else can we talk about? Well, another model that started painting and never finished, which is this lovely dwarf. Angedorf is Dorf. I like the skin tones on this one. Very subtle, very nice. Never finished it though, unfortunately. Again, that is common with my work. I start something and never finish it. Start it but never finish it. Should finish with wood green on this. It's nice wood green on it. But I mean, at some point, it will be done. I have an entire pile of dwarves sitting right next to the mech. You can't just sort of frame over here. They're going to go with the trolls. We're going to make a diorama of that one. No clue when or if that's going to be done. But it's an idea. It's pooling at the feet. Sometimes I wonder why they this is what I think should be better with speed paints. They don't pool as much. Let's go with this carefully. Alright, we saved it. We saved it. It's saved now. Sort of. But yeah. If you compare the different legs here. Painted one, unpainted one. Painted one, unpainted one. And that's a thing. That's a thing, isn't it? More pooling. Yeah. We have issues with pooling. Great issues. Should not do contrast paint with this brush. This is a nice brush. Contrast paint is not nice to brushes. For other reasons. But yeah. That's a thing, isn't it? Also life lessons. Never meddle with live content. It's like, I'm just going to tweak my little setting and the entire stream imploded. What can best be described, let's say, oops moment. And then it won't start again. Then it started. Sort of. Started. But yeah. Very interesting. We should do this every Tuesday, I think. That's the goal, at least. Do this every Tuesday. Not this. Although it might take a few weeks to get it done, because there's a lot of surface area to cover on this one. A lot of surface area. And then we take it with null oil and we need to get back up again. It's a lot of work. It's a big mech. Which is why I have no interest in taking on the next mech before I get an airbrush. Because this thing is not even, it has a leg. The leg goes up here on that one. It goes up here. It's a very big catapult. Printed on my FDM printer. Don't use it often enough now though. Should do that. Don't. Well. Life, as they say, have a tendency to happen, whether we like it or not. That is just the way it is. At some point I should have make it candy coated. I don't have any candy coat, but no, the same style. You can basically mimic that by paint. Basically, you do what they do. You put on a layer of silver, and then you put a clear coat, like a contrast paint, something over that. Very tasty. Very tasty indeed. That's the way it is. Should we do hot rod mix? Should we do an entire company of hot rod mix, perhaps? That would be fun. Pinstriping, candy paint. Could make it the actual mercenary unit. Well, at least a lance from a mercenary unit, because not paint an entire unit that way. But it would be kind of fun. Like Ronnie's Raggers. I don't know. It's an idea. At least it's an idea. Maybe it's an idea. I don't know. Ideas. I have lots of them. Few of them good. Some of them aren't, but most of them aren't. Most of them probably actually rather horrible. But that is how it is, isn't it? We don't have viewers anymore. I think most of them got out when it got political, but it's the thing. If you want to hang around with me here, we're going to get political from time to time. There is no getting away from that. For a lot of reasons. That's just the way it is. Just warning you right now, so you know what you're getting into. If you're gonna hang around here, we're gonna get political from time to time. That's just the way it is. And if you don't like it, well, I really shouldn't be saying it, but there are other channels out there. They're not political, or more political in the way you like to be political. Because everyone is political. It's one of these big myths. People are like, oh, I'm not political. Yes, you are. Everything's politics. Not party politics, but politics nonetheless. Everything is political. Everything is a matter of arguing for or against the social contract. Whether you like it or not. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. That's just the way it is. Whether that be trans rights or pineapple on pizza. Not that those two issues are equal, because I literally don't give a fuck what you put on your pizza, but I do care a lot about other people's right to live. But it's still political. Because it's the negotiation of the social contract. We have sort of gotten this idea that we should do that through politicking. I put in fingerprints all over the mech. That's bad. In most ways that it can be. You shouldn't put fingerprints on your mech. It's not a good idea. It's not good at all. It is not the right way to do it. It is not the way. The way. Yeah. I like how some people looked at the Mandalorians. Be like, oh, those are nice guys. Like, no, they are a... Oh, dear Lord. They are a hyper-conservative military dictatorship, basically. They are not the good guys. At least not the Death Watch people. They are not good guys. They sometimes do the right thing for wrong reasons, but they are a hyper ritualistic society that have very strict rules for governance of others, and even though Mandalorian per se is more a cultural than a lineage-based things, doesn't mean that they don't fuck that up anyway. Should I say I don't understand them? Because I do fully understand where they're coming from. I just don't think they're really right. But Din Djarin, but yeah. A brainwashed child is perhaps not the best measurement of whether something is good or not. Let's look at the Jedi Order, for example. We should talk about brainwashed children. Brainwashed, emotionally stunted children. That turned out great, didn't it? I'm glad nothing bad came out of that. He says as the Imperial March start playing in the background. Alright, yeah, no, perhaps I'm a bit facetious in that point, but the Jedi, by the time of the movies, are not good guys. They are as much the bad guys in a lot of ways as the fascists. The only tragic part is that the Jedi still think that they're doing well. They're doing good. They are so high on their own product that they don't even stop to consider that they perhaps have become the very issue they were trying to stop. And that is kind of sad. And also, let's try to avoid the whole child soldier thing. Or at least borderline child soldiers. That we got because a show needed a young sort of teenage character for the kids to connect to, and all of a sudden Jedi are engaging in war profiteering and child soldiers. That's a fun one. Anyway, as I said, we're going to try and go away from the overly political subjects at this point. But yeah, hot rod mechs. To get back to a more mech-related thing, we are definitely going to do hot rod mechs now that I have the idea. Thank you very much. That's a good idea. Very good idea. That poor person who's dropped in there, I feel terribly sorry for them. Because that must have been an interesting round to drop into. But yeah, at least they're not led astray by what we can expect here. Because that's the way it is. That's the way it does. Did I ever forget to paint that part? I forgot to paint the part. This is a problem. This is why I could never do like Gundam kits the way that the Gundam channels do them. Like cut all the pieces off and just put them in that pile. Like I would forget like 78 pieces and be like, why does my Gundam not have a leg? And they were like, because you forgot all the leg pieces over there. And I'd be like, well, you're right. How could I do that? I was like, yeah, because I'm me. So that's a thing. For all intents and purposes, that's a thing. It's not a good thing, but it's a thing. These are never going to stay. I don't know why I'm painting them now. I kind of just wanted to. We're trying to save a little bit of blackness in the back. Up towards the edge, we get a little bit of better contrast there. Because that's the way to do it. According to the people who knows. Yes, actually, it is a way to get a bit of panel separation without resorting to fine liners. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying that it's not something I'm doing. If you can get that to work, good for you. I can't, so I'm not doing it. Also a good fine liner for that. Someone's like, oh, you can pick up Tamiya's Gunplan things. I was like, yeah, because there are pretty much no stores in Sweden selling those. Again, we are a backwater end of nowhere in that regard. I have to repaint this most likely anyway later on when I completely fuck up painting the windows. But it's a start. Still, thank you very much. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. Nonetheless. Let's try to finish this up. The grey parts up. I should try and paint those. Let's be done with those. Done with those. Is this still a frame? Probably not. I'm not even sure where the frame is right now. I should mark it on this thing. That's why I got this thing to begin with. Was to be able to easily mark up where the camera view is. And I forgot to do that. It's a common occurrence. Me forgetting things. It's going to be one of these things you are also going to be able to have to live with. I forget things. A lot. It just happens. It's nothing personal. It's just a thing. Yeah, yep. It's coming on very nicely actually. Most of it now my voice is starting to give out, so probably going to turn this for the night soon. So try and get the cockpit area painted first, but once that's done I'm probably going to call this for today. I'll pick this up tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Because it's a thing. Yeah, when you look at that, it's actually starting to look like a mech. Who would have thought? I did. I thought that. But yeah. Halfway there. But yeah, I think we're gonna call this for today because I think my voice is starting to come out. It's not used to talking this much continuously. As I used to be used to it, we're not used to it anymore. So, until next time, stay safe, be kind, and do play fair. Bye.